Alright, hello. I'll be doing a episode without notes. I'll be talking about how the podcast has changed this year. Okay, so let me get into it. Let me adjust myself first, actually. It's the first thing I need to do. Building an indie business in the center of venture capital. I am Alex Edmonds, and this is the Building an Indie Business podcast. Alright, hello to all my listeners in France. Today, I'll be discussing the new podcast, and what I mean by that is how the podcast has changed since the beginning of this year. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about what exactly I've done and what I'm going to be working on in the future. Right now, I don't have notes. I'm a free recording. I guess that's what it would be called. So I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. But let's get into it. Okay. So I don't know if you've noticed recently, but the podcast has changed a lot since last year. I can pinpoint the exact episode that everything changed, and that is the how to interview a guest. And the reason that is the start of when things started to change is because I had just interviewed Brendan, and I needed to have the follow-up, how do you interview someone, right after it. So before, what I would do is I would just write like bullet points for my episode notes, and I wouldn't focus on one episode a week. I'd be doing 3, maybe 4 episodes, writing little bullet points every day. But after I interviewed Brendan, I knew that I needed to have this episode out, so I focused on this one episode for the week. And I developed a system of how to write show notes and how to make the by doing that, I developed a system and like a format how to make a better episode. So the first thing I do is I work on one episode a week, of course, and I have like a system or a structure of what content and how I'm going to talk about that specific topic for the week. So I talk about a topic, let's say live streaming, because I'm live streaming right now, so that helps me. I say, I talk about it a bit. I say how to do it, why you should do it, how to do it, the benefits, the problems, and then I might give out some tips. So now I focus on that structure. And then in that structure, I have something, why, an example. So that's how I structure within my structure. So I'll say you should live stream because it'll bring you more viewers or more people to your content or your business or whatever. So an example is that people have watched my live streams and followed me on Twitter and asked me more questions about what I'm doing, open podcast. So yeah, that's an example of the structure. And so why I think you should develop a structure is because it will help you to write episodes more easily. So instead of figuring out what you want to say and then how to say it, you have this structure where you can just think of something you want to say and then figure out where it fits within your benefits, your problems, how to do it, things like that. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? There's the fact that so how would you do this? No, let me pause for a sec. Okay. How the podcast has improved. No, this episode sucks. I don't know. Okay, let me. Is anyone actually listening? No. Okay, good. New podcast. That's about it, dude. I don't have any other things to say. Yeah, I can't freehand an episode. Let's just say that. Okay. Yeah, freehanding things is not my specialty. Okay. I guess how the podcast has improved is just between me and the live streamers. Okay. Building an indie business in the center of venture capital. I'm Alex Edmonds, and this is the Building an Indie Business Podcast. All right. Hello to all my listeners in France. So this week I'm going to be talking about email and how a podcaster can use email to grow their audience for their podcast. Okay. I'm going to be talking about the goals that you can have for email, how to write an email for your podcast. I'm going to be talking about lead magnets or landing pages. I'm going to go into detail about both of them. I'm going to talk about the benefits of email, what you should not do when it comes to emailing your listeners, and the problems that you might run into when having a mailing list for your podcast. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to mention is that you can start your email list before you even start the podcast. And that way, as soon as you have the podcast launched, you email it to your pre-audience. Okay. So the goal you should have for emails, or at least the goals I have for my mailing list for the podcast. The first one is to get people to listen to your episode as soon as it comes out, because when you email someone, you're mailing on the mailing list, you want them to click on it and download the episode and listen to the episode as soon as they see the email. My second goal with email is to connect with the audience on the email list without social media. So with email, they can easily reach you, and that benefits you because they have easy contact with you, unlike social media where they have to go and find you. They have to get permission to DM you, at least for me, because oh my god, I get so many emails from Product Hunt people and DMs from Product Hunt people. It's so annoying. Okay. So how do you want to set up your email to email potential subscribers? Okay. So the first thing I do for my email list is I send them a link for their welcome link I send them links to the most popular players. So Apple, Google, Spotify, and the RSS feed. I say welcome. I send them a lead magnet, which I'm going to talk about later. And then at the bottom are the links to the popular players. And my target audience for the email list are my biggest fans, not people that have just stumbled onto the podcast. Okay. So how do you set up the email? Like, what structure do you use? Great question. Okay. So, the first thing I do is for the title, I have new episode of the Building BAIB, because I don't say building an indie business. It's way too long. I regret the title. So I always do BAIB. So new episode of BAIB, and then the episode title. And then I have the a link to I have a header, and it says something like, I don't know, new episode, blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter. And then I have a link to the episode, and then I have the show notes, and this is all in the body of the email. So Alex, you have a new episode every week. Do you hand write this email? Great question. No, I do not. There's something called merge tags, and I use MailChimp. I don't know if other email services have merge tags, but MailChimp does. So you connect MailChimp to your email provider, to MailChimp, and then they have something called merge tags. I can put a link in the show notes so you can learn about merge tags, but it helps you set up the email where it's like every time a podcast episode is released, it'll have like a title, and it'll be the title of the new episode, body, show notes, things like that. So you can set up the RSS feed to automate this every time, which I love. Okay. One final thing you should keep in mind when having emails set up is that when a picture is in the email, it'll get to Google. The email will be added to Google's promo folder. So it's like main, social, promo folder. And so it'll be difficult to see when someone is on their desktop if it goes in the promo folder, so less people will see it. Finally, I send my emails at 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because that's my time zone, and 3 a.m. is because when they're checking their phone in the morning, their emails, it'll be right there. So, also, never mind. How I had it before. So recently I just, I had it set up, but I changed the format of the email. So how I had it before, it said new episode of BAIB. And the reason why I thought this was bad is because the few emails that I get for podcasts, I pay attention to what the episode is about. So they have the episode title in the show notes, so it's very easy to tell what the episode is about. And new episode of BAIB does not have that advantage. The next thing I had, the first thing in the body that I had was a picture of the logo. Nobody needs that, and it breaks my promo folder picture rule. Then I had a big headline. I don't even remember what it was, but it was a headline. Then I had the title of the episode from the merge tags, show notes from the merge tag, a listen now button that I could click and it would send me to the episode. Then I had a picture of the player, which would also send you to the episode. And then I had a picture of my blog to promote my blog at the bottom. So I broke my rule 3 times about pictures. Now how I have it set up. Okay, so I have new episode of BAIB, the episode title, so people can see what the episode is about. Okay, then I have, in the body, I have a big headline, and it's like in header font, something like that, I don't remember. Then I have the merge tag title, which is a link to the episode. Then I have the show notes. Then I have a listen now button. I think that's the only thing that's the same. Then links to the podcast, Google, Apple, Spotify, RSS feed. And this is not the episode, but the entire podcast. Just in case someone stumbles onto my podcast or the email that I have and they're not subscribed. Lead magnet. What is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something that you give to a subscriber to give them incentive to subscribe to your email list. So what is my lead magnet? My lead magnet is a private playlist from YouTube that helps people create and set up their podcasts. So I let people know that this playlist is private in the welcome email to make them feel special. So why is this my lead magnet? Great question. It's my lead magnet because my podcast, the lead magnet is how to create and set up your podcast. And then my podcast is how to podcast. And that's why I have episodes about how to podcast, like the storytelling episode, the podcast marketing episode, things like that. All right. Your lead magnet can be anything. It can be a PDF file, it can be videos, it can be an audio file, anything you want. Okay. So the landing page. What a landing page is, it's like a page on a website, and it helps people to understand what the value prop of your thing is. In this case, what your podcast is, the value prop of your podcast. So how did I display the value prop of this podcast? Great question again. So how I displayed the value prop is I broke down the podcast the podcast episodes that they would hear into 3 different topics. Community building, podcasting, and web development. And I talked about the different types of the different episodes that they would hear. So like for landing page. For community building, I did not running a community. I did growing a community. For web development, I talked about learning SaaS. For podcasting, I talked about how to interview a guest. And I said why these episodes would help a new listener or someone listening to the podcast, right? Then at the very top, I had links to the popular apps, Google, Spotify, I already mentioned them. And then I had an about page, which was a separate page, allowing people to get to know me. And then I had a link to Open Podcast, again, because everything I do is about promoting Open Podcast. Okay. Problems with the landing page. Did I talk about problems with the lead magnet? Oh, So problems with the lead magnet is sometimes people will sign up and then leave after getting the lead magnet. Another problem is that they may not be interested in the lead magnet and therefore they don't sign up. Okay, so problems with the landing page is that designing it, it's very difficult to find out what your audience or your potential audience is interested in, like the perfect design for your landing page to get the max amount of people to sign up to your email list. Okay, benefits of email. Alright, shareability. And what shareability means is that everyone has an email address, and so if they think their friend is interested in your podcast, they can easily just forward the email to their friend, and that person will subscribe potentially. And then another benefit is that everything is automated for this process. So all you need to do is design it once really well, and then you're done. Another benefit is that there are no algorithms involved, unlike social media. So people see it when they see it. It's not like you send it at 3 a.m. and they see it at 10 o'clock at night because because your email isn't as strong in the algorithm. Okay. More control over user experience. This is different from social media, where you get 140 characters and you don't get to choose how they see the email. You can design it, you can add colors, you can structure your email. Data is yours. So when you want to move email services, you can take the email or your email list somewhere else and just start up again. No problems whatsoever. Another benefit is good stats. So you know when someone emails it, how often someone opens the email, the percentage of people opening it, you know what people click on. So that's really great stats, and this is unlike social media or even podcasting. But yeah, I shouldn't have brought that one up. Okay. People can easily get in touch with you. All they need to do is reply to the email and they get in contact with you, which is great. Acts as a reminder. So, like I said, I check my email and I see what interesting podcasts are having a new episode, and this acts as a reminder for me to go listen to it. How to grow a email list. The first thing is put your email form in the show notes, and that way people who are interested in being on the email list can join it very easily. Okay. Promote the episode with your email in the web format. So you can have a format where it's not just the email, it's like an HTML page. And so how you can promote this episode is by having the email from the HTML form as your promotional page, and that way you promote it on Reddit, Twitter. You promote that page instead of like a link to the podcast. Okay. The don'ts of email listing. Email listing. Okay. So don't add people without permission. let them join themselves. Don't just take their email and then add them to the email list. That makes your email list look bad, and you have like a score on Google, and if people mark your email as spam, which it will be if you add them randomly, less people will see your email because it'll be marked in the spam folder. Okay. Don't have a large email form. And so what I mean by this is that you can ask them 100 questions as they sign up for your email list. Don't do this. I literally just ask for their email. Some people ask for their name, last name, where they were born, what country they're from, things like that. I'm exaggerating, but people ask a lot of questions. And you want to make it as easy as possible for them to sign up for your email list. So just have the email. That's all you really need. Okay. Have a large email. Don't do this. So what I mean by this is like having a lot of content to put in the email. Like, don't put your life story in the email. Just have the content that they need to read. Okay. Use an unfamiliar email address. So what I mean by this is anyone who knows me and listens to my podcast knows that I go by Supreme Rum Ham on the internet. And so the email address that they see when they get my email is supremerumham@gmail.com. So if I were to have something like San Jose 408 at AOL.com, that'd be confusing, and they would mark my email as spam, and then it would go back to the spam folder, and people would not see my email. So by having an email address that someone would recognize, you avoid that problem. Okay. Problems that you would have with the email address, or the email list. Okay. Collecting emails. It can be difficult to collect emails because a lot of people just don't want to give their email address out because they're afraid someone might sell the email address or stuff like that. So you might have problems collecting the email address. Styling it. When you're creating the email, this is very much like the landing page. It can be difficult to find the optimal design for your email. The email that you would be sending. Okay. People get a lot of emails. So people get a lot of emails from services and companies that they're involved with. They might miss your email on occasion, and so, yeah. Okay. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye. Jesus, dude. What the hell am I doing? Alright, I'm gonna listen back to some stuff. Might actually edit this episode. Okay. I just want to edit out my coughing. Let's grow their following by guest posting on the blog. Okay. That's all I have for this episode. If you would like to guest post on the Open Podcast blog, oh no. Are you kidding me? Oh. Podcast Community Podcast. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye. Okay, I have to get rid of this one. Oh, dude. Okay. Jesus. You have problems collecting the email address? Styling it. When you're creating the email, this is very much like the landing page. It can be difficult to find the optimal design for your email. The email that you would be sending. Okay. People get a lot of emails. So people get a lot of emails from services and companies that they're involved with. They might miss your email on occasion, and so, yeah. Okay. That's all I have for this episode. Thank List. Okay. Collecting emails. It can be difficult to collect emails. Okay. Problems that you would have with the email address or the email list. Okay. Collecting emails. It can be difficult to collect emails because a lot of people just don't want to give their email address out because they're afraid someone might sell the email address or stuff like that. So you might have problems collecting the email address. Styling it. When you're creating the email, this is very much like the landing page. It can be difficult to find the optimal design for your email. The email that you would be sending. Okay. People get a lot of emails. So people get a lot of emails from services and companies that they're involved with. They might miss your email on occasion, and so, yeah. Okay. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye. Okay. Problems that you would have with the email address or the email list. Okay. Collecting emails. It can .com. So if I were to have something like San Jose 408 at AOL.com, that'd be confusing, and they would mark my email as spam, and then it would go back to the spam folder, and people would not see my email. So by having an email address that someone would recognize, you avoid that problem. Okay. Problems that you would have with the email address. Okay. Use an unfamiliar email address. So what I mean by this is anyone who knows me and listens to my podcast knows that I go by Supreme Rum Ham on the internet. And so the email address that they see when they get my email is supremerumham@gmail.com. So if I were to have something like Okay, that's not that bad, I think. I thought I was like clearing my throat like but I'm not. What I mean by this is that you can ask them 100 questions as they sign up for your email list. Don't do this. I should cut this out though. Hold on, let me ask them them 100 questions as they sign up for your email list. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this out. Just slightly. Like all the way to here. Cut it out. Okay. Now how does it sound? 100 questions as they sign up for your email list. Don't do this. I literally just asked for their email. So by this is that you can ask them 100 questions as they sign up for your email list. Don't do this. I literally just asked for their email. See, the problem with my episodes now is that they're super long, and yeah, it's hard to email marketing. It's difficult to have like talk for 20 minutes because that dries your throat out. So yeah, this is the first edit I've made for the podcast, except for adding music. Gross. I feel so ridiculous doing it, if I'm being honest. Because it's not my style. Not my style. Yeah. That's awful. Is there a date like added? I don't want modified, but I want added. Date created. Modified. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh my god. Whoa. Oh, this is video. Jeez, dude, there's something wrong with you. See, date created, and that's what I want. Okay. Jesus Christ. What's unfortunate about being quarantined, not quarantined, but like having a shelter in place, is that now I have all these episodes, right? And then I am now out of episodes. Like, I don't have any more things to promote. So that reminds me. Or no, I don't have any episodes on hand that I could just record. I need to do something drastic right now for the podcast. I need to announce something, and then I'll talk about that announcement. Oh my god. I can redo the workflow episode. Yeah. I think... Oh, dude. I'm still thinking about that product hunt thing. That comment. And it's not the comment in general. It's just my problem is that he was right. And so I need to like add more to the podcast. Like more. I need to put more energy into my recordings. Yeah, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm figuring that out. I've been looking at like how comedians get over stage fright, because what I think is that I'm nervous and that tenses me up, and then it comes out on monotone. At the same time, I think that I don't want to like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to stray away from the content by wasting time by making it really funny. So I have to figure out how to do both. And I think like exaggerating something sometime, like stuff like how do you, a great question, things like that. And I think it's just like funny and not wasting time too much. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Alright. Yeah. That's what's been on my mind for now. Yeah, because when I do stuff like great question, I'm doing it, I have more emotion than just like this. But also, I want to take this podcast seriously. So I'm fine with like being monotone at the same time. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I'm working on. I have surveys. I need to do that. Podcast workflow. I can do that. Let's see. So tomorrow I can do workflow. I could maybe write an episode about surveys. I don't know. No one's really filled out my survey. You can see it right here. 2 lines. Thank you, Pradeep and David, for filling that out. Yeah, this was over a month ago. Even because I don't know how to promote the survey. I could tweet about it, I guess. That's one thing. Hello, person. I assume you're on Twitch. Who are you? Have you seen my face before? That's mostly what I want to know. Let me know. Yeah. Because right now, as of today, my company emailed me, and I'm starting here, and I have episodes to here. And the reason why I want to have so many episodes is because I don't know how much I'm going to be working, so I just want to cover a lot of ground before I work. So, yeah. So, before today, I had episodes up to, I was supposed to start here, and then I had episodes up to here. That was yesterday. So now I need to record more episodes. I need to record, I think if I record 3 episodes, so 1, 2, 3. So this episode is good. And then tomorrow I'm going to record another episode, and I might be able to record surveys, and that surveys brings me up to here. Yeah. Alright. That's all I have. Ooh, I forgot headliner. But I don't have to record it back to back. I just need to record it before I go to work. And then I'm also... What am I also doing? I'm also doing stuff with Stripe. I just found a bunch of videos about how to use Stripe with Firebase. Let's look at those. Hello. That was an hour ago. Okay. Cold Steel. All my watch later videos. Yeah, because I live in the Bay Area, right? If you know me, you already know this. But, okay. And there's something called Shelter in Place. And they enacted that. Hopefully this wasn't one of the Stripe videos, but I have this one. I have this one. Oh, I don't want the React ones. So this one doesn't count. React Element Stripe. Has set up Stripe. This is the WordPress one. Oh, dude. So this one's in Rails. Alright. I have to find more Stripe videos then. And then another problem I have is that Open Podcasts has stopped growing, and I have the forum as well. And no one uses the forum but me. And so I need to figure out how to get people to use the forum. Okay. 32:29 new episodes. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, because I need people to use the forum because I'm paying for it. For now. Okay. Great timing. Alright. How to use email to grow a podcast audience. Alright. Hello, people. Any questions about what I'm doing? Why I'm doing it? How I'm doing it? Things like that. Let me know. The forum. Alright. The problem. So wait. What does that look like? Why does it look like that? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so I'm doing the show notes. And the way I do the show notes is that I copy and paste from the last episode. And I change things to fit this episode. Episode 59. Jesus, dude, I've recorded so much. 13th. Um, 20th. Hey, this episode comes out at 4:20. Blaze it. I'm just kidding. In this episode I discuss the BAIB mailing list. Goal. I go over the goals of my mailing list. Whoa. I don't know what's happening. How to set up an email for the list. Lead magnets. Landing pages. There's a boy named Johnny Be Good. He never really learned to read or write so well, but he's playing guitar like he's ringing a bell. My test design for the email, my current design. There's a boy named Johnny Be Good. He never really learned to read or write so well, but he's playing guitar like he's ringing a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Lead magnets, landing pages, I already covered that. Benefits of an email list. Benefits of an email list. Problems. What not to do. And what not to do. Okay. My eye. Support this podcast on my Twitter. I don't really care about my Twitter. Yeah, so don't. Yep, this is nice and short. Nobody wants to. Let's just do this. Yeah, I like it. Because he's playing guitar like he's ringing a bell. How to use email to grow a podcast. Explore your email list through podcasting. Okay. Because he's playing guitar like he's ringing a bell. Go, go. Go, Johnny, go. Last 44 minutes. Dude, did it split into different episodes? Oh, okay. No, it didn't. Good. Okay. Wanna record an episode. Today's Thursday, right? Alright, so tomorrow I'm going to do the open podcast thing. Open podcast email list. Yep. Dude, it's so ridiculous. I need to write about solo podcasting more. Because there's so much I didn't cover. Solo podcasting. How to. Why. Disadvantages. That's all I have. The benefits. Record anywhere. Benefits of interviewing. Oh my god. This is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I think, when did this episode go out? Because if it went out last year, then it's not part of the format I was talking about earlier. Yeah, this is right before I did the interview. Alright. I think that's all I have. I could revamp this episode too. I have to listen to it first. Why are 26 people watching this? That's weird. Okay. Because I'm done. Alright, have a nice day.